Oh yes, art mediums, because drawing with just a pencil was too basic for y'all. So you had to invent a million ways to suffer creatively. Today we're going to roast and obliterate every art medium ever. Let's go. Oh, the classic pencil, the starter pack of every wannabe artist. You start sketching, all confident, shading like a pro. Then boom, one tiny mistake that now you're smudging your entire existence. Also, let's not forget those cursed erasable colored pencils that don't actually erase. What kind of scam is that? Also, I feel like if your favorite medium is pencils, you're like a really old dude with a grey beard and glasses, but you're like the greatest artist that anyone will ever meet in their entire life. And you probably have that one pencil that you're very emotionally attached to in a very weird way. Ink artists are built different. Just one wrong stroke and it's over. No undo button, no mercy. You'll be out here flexing your line confidence while the rest of us are struggling with erasable pens. You like pain, and you probably also like to show how much pain you endure. And you probably have an Instagram dedicated to your Inktober struggles. Also, the pens more like Y pens. Who decided dipping a pointy metal stick into a tiny jar was a good idea? Let's talk about the art supplies that leave a trail of regrets on everything they touch. Markers. They're like the drama queen of the art world. Bold, loud, and always fading into oblivion when you need them most. If markers were a person, they'd be like that one friend who says, I'm just going to make a quick decision, then ruins the entire drawing. And don't even get me started on how they always leak when you least expect it. They're basically the art supply equivalent of spilling coffee on your favorite shirt. No matter how careful you are, it's always a mess. And basically, if you love to use markers, you're pretty basic. Just saying, me included. Side note, am I the only one who feels extremely nostalgic for the time when people on YouTube are just fighting about which markers were the best, the Copic ones or the Pro makers? Like, that was the golden age of art YouTube, and I wish I could relive that era. Oh, charcoal, the most dramatic of all art mediums. You either look like a tortured artist straight out of a historical novel, or you actually enjoy looking like you just survived a chimney explosion. Your hands are always covered in charcoal dust, your sketchbook is a smudgy mess, and you're probably just as dark as your artwork. Also, you tell people it's expressive, but deep down, you know you're just embracing the chaos. But I gotta ask, is there anyone who actually uses this medium? Do y'all exist? Watercolor artists are either absolute gods or suffering in silence. Why? Because watercolor does whatever it wants. You wanted a smooth blend? Nah, here's a weird backwash thing. You wanted a layer? Ha, here's a muddy mess. You pretend you love the unpredictability of it all. But we both know you're the one drop away from water from losing your entire mind. Either your paint dries instantly or it's going to flood your entire paper. And you have your own little lake. Oh my goodness, so fun. Oh, you thought watercolor was expensive? Oh, honey, wait till you see the price of good watercolor paper. You're out here dropping half your life savings on a single sheet, and if you dare to use cheap paper, it will disintegrate faster than your will to live. Why does this paper always betray you by warping into a potato chip? But I gotta say, you guys are so chill, and you just don't care anymore, and I totally respect that. Acrylic. The paint that dries too fast when you need time and dries too slow when you need it done. You're either a Bob Ross disciple or a sleep-deprived maniac who'd enjoy suffering. You tell yourself, I'll just do one layer and end up with a 3-inch thick mounted on paint. Also, your workspace, that's a war zone. Also, why is the paint either too thick or too watery? You mix the perfect color, look away for 5 seconds, and boom, it's dried into a crusty nightmare. Bonus, accidentally getting it on your clothes. Yeah, this thing is never coming out. Good luck with that. I feel like wash is the forgotten middle child of acrylic and watercolor, but it's definitely the coolest one out there. Still, that doesn't mean it doesn't have its own struggles. You wanted the vibrancy of acrylics, the blendability of watercolor, and the unpredictability of both? Congrats! You just adopted the most high-maintenance, commitment-phobic medium out there. Too much water, it's a sad, chalky mess. Too little, and it cracks like your patience. And let's not forget, one accidental drop and poof, your entire paint reactivates like a cursed time machine. And when your paint's dried, they never really dry. They never really dry the color that you thought they would. They're either too light or too dark. That's the reason I get a massive headache every time I try to use gouache. I also feel like everyone whose main art medium is gouache is so obsessed with the Studio Ghibli. Of course, we can't talk about art mediums without mentioning the medieval royalty of our art world. Oil painters, y'all are so patient because this medium takes forever to dry. You can finish a masterpiece, but you can't touch it for like 3 years. And the cleaning process, oh, you thought you could just use water? Nuh-uh. Enjoy your headache. Paintings are either a breathtaking masterpiece or an unsolvable puzzle of muddy colors, and your entire workspace smells like a chemistry lab. And you either treat your brushes like delicate treasures, or completely destroy them within a week. I do got to give props to the oil painters out here though, because once that painting is down, it's not coming out. You have zero fear of commitment. Now let's talk about the art medium that is the opposite side from fear of commitment. Digital artist. Out here with a fancy Ctrl-Z thinking that's safe from suffering? Oh, but wait, your software crashes, your layers disappear, or your stylus dies mid-line, or your hand accidentally zooms into 5,000%. Yeah, we don't have it good as everyone thinks we do. Also, to the digital artists who keep on using Procreate religiously and flexing with the smoothest liners ever, I'm coming for you. Just wait and see. I'm coming. Sculptors are the real MVPs because you guys are out here fighting gravity itself. You think you're done? Surprise! Your piece just collapsed for no reason. Also, air dry clay, more like air crack clay. And if you drop it, that's it. You just lost 3 weeks of work in 0.2 seconds. Also, am I the only one who gets the biggest ache from dry clay on my hands? Like, it just makes me want to scream and vomit. I don't know. It's just the most terrible feeling ever, which unfortunately reminds me of oil pastels. Also, you wanted to make art, not get personally attacked by a rainbow? Too bad. The second you pick one up, your hands, your clothes, probably your entire desk are now covered in enough pigment to start in street mural. Blending, more like aggressive finger painting. And don't even think about sneezing unless you want to watch your masterpiece get relocated to another dimension. Well, that was a lot of roasting for one video. I hope you're enjoying these little time lapses throughout my video. So go check me out if you love my art, subscribe to me, and we'll see you next time. Stay cool. See you in the next sheets.